So you're getting into cybersecurity, right? You've probably thought about setting up your own home lab. I mean, it's this awesome space where you can take malware apart, practice your pen testing skills, and really get your hands dirty. But, and this is a big but, it can also be super risky if you don't set it up just right.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? How do you practice with digital fire without getting burned? How can you poke and prod at some seriously dangerous software without it escaping and just tearing through your personal files, your photos, maybe even your entire home network?
And let me tell you, that risk is absolutely real. Just imagine you're analyzing a new piece of ransomware. One wrong click, just one, in a lab that isn't properly locked down, and that thing could encrypt not just your test environment, but it could hop right over to your main computer and lock up every single important thing you have. The very tools you're using to learn could turn against you.
Okay, so how do we build a cage for these digital beasts? Well, the first, most basic tool we've got in our toolbox is something called a virtual machine. The easiest way to think of a virtual machine, or a VM, is as a complete computer that just happens to live as a set of files on your actual computer. It's got its own operating system, its own virtual hard drive, its own memory, the whole shebang. And this setup is brilliant because it creates a digital sandbox. If the malware you're studying totally wrecks the VM, who cares? You just delete it and spin up a new one. It's designed to be disposable.
That sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? But hold on, here's where it gets a little more tricky. A sandbox with a hole in it is, not really a sandbox. And the most common, and by far the most dangerous, hole is the network connection. So the real question is, how do we make absolutely sure our little virtual world is completely sealed off from everything we care about?
The answer, my friend, is all in the network settings of your VM. This one little choice you make is the entire blueprint for its isolation. It's what decides whether your sandbox is a sealed fortress or a cage where you've accidentally left the door wide open.
So this table kind of breaks down our three main options. We've got bridged, NAT, and host only. And as you can see, they give you wildly different levels of protection and internet access. Let's dig into what each of these actually means for your safety. First up, we've got bridged mode. The best way to think about this is that you're giving your virtual machine a key to your house. It gets its own IP address directly from your home router, just like your phone or your laptop. Now that's great if you want to run a web server that everyone in your house can get to. But for analyzing malware, oh boy, it's the absolute worst choice. It puts that dangerous code on the exact same network as every other device you own. Big yikes. Okay, next is NAT. Now, this stands for Network Address Translation, and it's a little bit better. You can picture this one like a one-way mirror. Your VM can look out at the internet by going through your main computer, and that can be handy for, downloading tools or getting updates. But that connection, that little pathway to the outside world, is still a potential escape route for a clever piece of malware. It's not truly isolated. And that brings us to the hero of our story, host-only networking. When you pick this mode, your VM is completely cut off from the outside world. No internet at all. It can only talk to your main computer, the host, and any other VMs you've put on that same private internal network. Its biggest limitation is actually its greatest security feature. It's a real digital fortress.
So let's be crystal clear about this. The crucial point is, when your goal is total security and isolation so you can mess around with dangerous code, host-only networking isn't just a good option, it's really the only responsible choice. It's the one setting that guarantees your experiments stay inside the lab.
Now, what's really cool is that the simple choice you're making in your VM settings, well, it's not just some random trick. You're actually using a core cybersecurity strategy that governments and huge companies rely on every single day. Let's see how this all connects. This quote comes straight from CISA. That's the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. These are the pros, and they see network segmentation as totally fundamental to good security. The whole idea is to stop an attacker from getting one foothold and then using it to just waltz through your entire network. So what is network segmentation? Honestly, it's exactly what it sounds like. You take one big flat network and you start building virtual walls inside of it. You split it up into smaller, isolated zones. That way, if one area gets compromised, the fire is contained. It can't spread to the other zones where all your really important stuff is.
And the benefits here are huge. You're limiting an attacker's ability to move around. You're shrinking the overall area they can even try to attack. And most importantly, you're containing any breach to a small, manageable zone. It's really the difference between a small fire in the kitchen and the entire house burning to the ground. And here it is. This is the aha moment. When you go into your VM settings and you click that little host-only radio button, you are practicing network segmentation. You're taking a professional, CISA-recommended security strategy and putting it to work in your own home lab. You are building a tiny, isolated network segment, your virtual sandbox, that's completely walled off from the rest of your digital life. How cool is that?
All right, so we've covered the theory, the what, and the why. Let's put it all together into a dead simple, actionable plan you can use to build your own safe lab, like right now.
It's really just 4 simple steps. 1. Go ahead and create your VM like you normally would. 2, and this is the absolute most important part, go into that VM settings before you turn it on and switch its network adapter to host only. 3, check your work. Fire it up, open a command prompt, and try to ping google.com. It has to fail. That failure is your proof of success. It means you're totally isolated. And finally, step 4, go play. Experiment, learn, break stuff, all with total confidence that you're doing it in a secure space.
And that's really what I want to leave you with. By making one tiny but incredibly important choice in your network settings, you've turned what could be a risky hobby into a professional-grade training ground. You've built your own digital fortress. So, the only question left is, what amazing things are you going to learn inside it?